Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would do my long-awaited 2 months post-op video about my nose job. I got a lot of questions. A lot of them are pretty much the same. So I thought I would just make it easier for everybody instead of answering one by one. Just put it all in one place. I'm officially now 9 weeks post-op. 9 weeks today. I haven't watched my last video. My last video was my vlog. It was really nerve-wracking posting that video, honestly. I know plastic surgery is a very controversial subject, but I honestly received nothing but love and I'm really grateful for that. So I'm just gonna stop rambling and get on into the video. So I actually just put all my questions on my laptop, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. First question is, how was the recovery? So recovery was definitely a lot. That's like what I was most nervous for. The hardest part for me was definitely kind of staying still. Recovery isn't the easiest. It's just uncomfortable. It hurts a little bit. Honestly, it hurts more than a little bit. Are given medication, so depending if you decide to take that medication or how strong that medication is, you honestly don't feel it, just obviously when it wears off. So how long is recovery? So recovery, like initially I would say like the first 2 weeks are definitely like the hardest process. Everything is hard like before your first post-op appointment. Like technically recovery is like 1 to 2 years because the tip is like the last part that goes down in swelling. What was the worst part of the process? I would honestly say that the worst part is not being able to breathe out of your nose. In my vlog, I had said that I could breathe initially because I wasn't given that bonus. I still don't know what even that's called like in English, but the things that go up your nose, I wasn't given that, so initially I could breathe, but my doctor did tell me that once the swelling went up, I wouldn't be able to breathe out of my nose. So that was definitely like an uncomfortable part. I just think also like the pressure of everything just kind of like in the middle of your face. It's just a sucky first week, honestly. How long do you feel pain after the surgery? Like I said, I honestly want to use the word pain. Necessarily hurt. I feel like everyone who has got a nose job can maybe agree with me. It's definitely more uncomfortable. Honestly, like worth it. Pain is temporary. I took all of my pain meds, up to when the doctor told me to stop, which was like a full week. After the full week you're fine, but definitely the first 3 days are rough, especially because like you get swollen, you're bruising, not being able to like shower properly. It's just all around, it's a really uncomfortable process. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. How long did it take? So I'm going to assume they mean surgery. So the doctor had told me up to 2 hours. I was given local anesthesia. So like the anesthesia that they give you kind of like when you're getting like your wisdom teeth out. Like you're sedated, you're asleep, but then I was waking up slowly. Fun fact, I was like partially awake towards the end. Just like I said, it was local anesthesia. Honestly, the part that had me really scared initially was like the doctor telling me like you will more than likely wake up towards the end of the surgery because obviously like the sedation kind of like wears off. You don't feel anything obviously, but that's the part that kind of like really freaked me out. That's what I was most nervous about, honestly, like waking up and just feeling any type of pain. I was able to talk to my doctor while he was performing surgery. It honestly, like, it sounds like what the hell, but it really wasn't anything like to be scared about. What medication did you take? So I'm gonna pull up actually the form. So I had multiple medications, obviously. So I took antibiotic. It's called, I'm gonna butcher all the names, but it was an antibiotic that I took. I took that every 8 hours for 7 days. So took obviously like a pain medication for 1 week. And then I had this thing that was called Allen Depot. It was an injection actually. I had to put the night before like in my buttocks, like my butt. my butt, and I think that was to help with like swelling. So had a nasal spray just to help like clean it out basically, and then I had this thing that was called an Afrin. It was also like a spray. That was also every 8 hours for like 5 days. And then I had this thing that's called Danzin. That was like an anti-inflammatory. Everywhere you go, they're gonna recommend you something different. I took everything like by the book, how I was supposed to do it. I did not mess around when it came to my medication and cleaning my nose especially. What are the precautions a doctor tells you to take for the following year? So this is what my doctor had given me like in all my forms. So basically for the first week I had to sleep sitting up, obviously because you can't lay down, like the swelling and stuff like that. Also like with the pressure in your nose, like laying down honestly like isn't even like an option. You cannot blow your nose for like the first 2 to 3 weeks. That was tough. Everything is temporary. I still don't really fully like blow my nose like with a tissue like this. I just do like in the shower. I don't know if that's like gross, but I get kind of like nervous, at least for me, like really touching my nose. I try not to touch it because I don't want to mess anything up. Even though nothing is going to mess up, I don't even go like this anymore. Like and it becomes a habit, and you don't even, you know, like you want to touch your nose and your face honestly as least as you can. Not smoke or expose yourself to wood smoke, or humo de leña or tobacco. That was okay for me because I do not smoke, but that's what he's recommended, I believe, for like the first 3 months. He said that avoid sun or high temperatures like the stove and taking a hot bath for the first 4 weeks. I don't know why, but that's just what he said. Use sunblock every 4 hours to avoid scarring. And then do not use glasses for the first 6 weeks, and limit your use only if necessary. I do wear glasses, so I just made sure to get my contacts enough for like the next 3 months. Like I said, like even though like here it says like for the first 6 weeks, I personally just don't want to wear sunglasses or glasses if I don't need to, because the last thing I want is to abuse it and then like I have a mark, or you know, I don't know. Every time I'm in the sun, I make sure if I'm in there for a long period of time, like the beach or something, I wear a hat. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I went to the beach with my friend and I wore like a big hat. What was your surgeon's name? So my doctor's name was Dr. Jorge Barbachano. It was recommended by my stepmom's surgeon who operated on her knee. He's like a friend of his or whatever. And what I really liked about him especially was because he really made sure that like all of my doubts and all of my concerns were answered, especially during this weird time like that we're living in this year. There's so many precautions. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet him in person right away, but it was just really nice. Like he took all the time that was necessary for like, I think our conference call was like 30 minutes long, but I had like my mom and like my dad on the call with me. Even though I'm an adult, I still sometimes I'm like, I want my parents to come with me. And I just really liked that he was like, what is your concern? What do you want to fix? What clinic did I go to? So his clinic is called Rhinofast Cirugía de Nariz Cancun. If I didn't mention this before, I did get my surgery in Cancun. Do I recommend my facility and my doctor? Honestly, with my eyes closed, they are amazing. Like they were honestly so nice. The nurses were so nice and so gentle. Like especially I remember like when I had to get like my IV, like she was just super gentle and like just made sure that like I was okay. Like even though I'm back home and he is obviously in Cancun, wants to stay in contact, any updates, I mean if I need to text him or call him or schedule a video call, like I know I will be able to. And also I was super nervous about because I didn't want to like come back to like home, leave, you know, obviously like Cancun, and then like if I had like a doubt or like something, like not be able to contact this person or my doctor. What did the doctor quote you? So at first I didn't know if I could answer this because I was like, I don't know how this works, but it's actually on their Instagram, so I'll put their Instagram down below. But it was obviously in Mexican pesos, so I was charged 25,000 Mexican pesos. So I will do the conversion more or less. 25,000 Mexican pesos is $1,232.63. So I think at the time it was like 1,100. It went up a little bit because of like the dollar, but it was a flat 25,000 pesos. That did not include medication or my COVID test. How did you find a great surgeon for a good price? So I knew that if I were to have gone the route of getting my surgery done in the US, in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, I knew that I would not be getting a surgery less than $4,000. I think starting point's like 6,000. I can go anywhere from like 8. My mom 15 years ago actually got a nose job as well, and at the time she was quoted $8,000, and she got hers done here in Weston. That was honestly another reason why I wanted to explore the option of getting it done in Cancun. Also did have the option of exploring in Colombia. I have family in Colombia, but I just felt more comfortable going to Cancun. There's great doctors everywhere. You just need to do your research. I explored 2 doctors. I just preferred Dr. Barbachano because I just loved his work. I mean, obviously, like for a good price, for me was going to Mexico, but that's not the only reason. I mean, you have to explore your options, get quotes. I just knew, like, since I wanted to get it done this year because of all the downtime I had and stuff like that, I knew that my best option was getting it done in Cancun rather than here. Your side profile, did your doctor change anything else? My biggest issue was my side profile. I actually never even mentioned anything here. Looking at before and afters, it's crazy how much I've changed. What he did was, to my knowledge, he like cut this, like the cartilage that was here that like made it look like I had a bump, and then with that cartilage he created kind of like a little, like, I don't want to say prosthetic, but I think that's like the term for it, where he put it on the tip of my nose because he did tell me that I didn't have much cartilage here, or like for stability, so that if I had enough cartilage here, he wanted to put it on the tip of my nose. He did not touch my nostrils at all. I told him I did not want him to touch it, and he didn't even recommend it. Brought in my nose right here. The main concern was never my front profile, but looking back, I'm like, wow, like the change that this even made, and that wasn't even a concern of mine. I just feel like everything just looks a lot more like polished, and I think this was such a good call. I definitely trusted him with his opinions. I didn't even show my doctor a kind of like an inspo pic. Like, I know a lot of people show like Wolfie Cindy as like their inspiration for like what they want, but I decided not to. Mine was actually Charlie Jordan. Love her nose, but I wanted him to suggest what he thought was good for me and like my face and my anatomy. How did you feel when you first saw your nose? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what the hell did I do? So, well, there's honestly a lot of things going through your head. Like, the first week you look crazy, obviously, like you're swollen, you're bruised, and on top of that, obviously, like your nose itself, apart from your entire face being swollen, is so swollen. A nose job is like one of the longest processes of recovery, like I mentioned before. I remember, like, just when he like took off my tape at first, I think it was just a shock, like, because I looked so different. On top of that, when things are swollen, like things look really uneven. I look back as to like, I didn't even want to take a photo. I was just like really nervous. Obviously I was like, oh my god, like, did I make the right decision? Like, why did I do this? Second week I went back, a lot of swelling had went down, and I loved my nose. Like, I thought it looked so good. And even then, I look back, before making this video, I like was looking at old photos, and my nose has changed so much in the best way. I think my biggest concern was like my right nostril being bigger than my left. Even though your nostrils are never going to be spot on even, because obviously like my face isn't even. Like, if I were split in half, this isn't even to this. But it was like a significant difference, but it was the swelling that made it look that way. I even was looking at like revision rhinoplasties like online, because I was getting too much in my head. But my one piece of advice, honestly, that I took from like an article that I read when I was going through all that, trust the process, trust the person that you went to, and on top of that, don't look in a mirror for like a month, Don't get so fixated on like the little things because everything falls into its place literally. When can you start working out normally? So my doctor actually gave me the okay. He actually told me like after 2 months I could start like lightly like working out. I haven't been working out in general just because I've been lazy. I went on like a run like a few weeks ago with my mom. He did just suggest that anytime I go running to tape up my nose. You're gonna do like a high intensity workout. He just suggested that I tape up my nose. I think another question I forgot to add in here, but another question that I got actually was if I'm still taping my nose. So my doctor had told me that I would have to tape my nose day and night for 2 months. That information is different for everybody. I've seen doctors only suggest 2 weeks. I've seen doctors suggest more, whatever. That's what he suggested for me and I followed by that. I think after like the 6-week mark, I stopped taping in the day and I just would tape at night. Now I don't tape at all. I don't notice any swelling. Aside from when I wake up, I just wake up a tiny bit swollen, but then within an hour, it goes down. But everybody's nose, everybody's skin is different. I thought I would have to tape a lot longer, and I don't have to. I think that's it for all the questions. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope just as my vlog was informative, I hope this video was equally as informative. If there's anything I left out or any questions that anybody still has, feel free to comment down below. I'll answer them after I post this video. I want to get back on my grind of posting weekly, so I hope you guys can suggest things down below. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.